Give us the latest on the oil containment efforts, because a lot of people waking up on Monday morning wanting to know what's going on.
Well, I tell you, we've had a good week of hopefully getting BP to do some things that'll help us be on top of this all quickly. The deployment of the quarters barges is in motion. It's not done yet, but
what is it, Billy?
The quarters barges, so the crews will be staying out there. That's the most important. Yeah, we've been asking for that for months now, and those are in the motion to be done. So in Barataria Bay, Bay Jimmy, all those areas out there, those crews will be staying out there so they can get to work earlier, stay out there later, and then they're not shut down just for a thunderstorm. That's the only way we're going to be successful is to get those crews out there doing that. And secondly is we proposed a plan with ocean boom and barges in the passes back in shallow water that can stretch across all of the area where the barrier islands are underwater. And as we build the berms, remove those, but leave them in the passes as a long-range plan with the berms and those barges in a V to catch the oil in the passes that will help us fight this oil, which I believe is going to be out there for a year or two. And that way we'll control our destiny and the oil won't control us. We can clean up our marshes, inland waterways, and at least get back to some of the things we enjoyed before this thing and not have it control us.
So you pitched this idea to who? Because a lot of times we hear about ideas and then they don't get approved.
Well, I got a lot of faith in this new guy, James Lee Witt. He was the director under Clinton of FEMA, and he also has been in the private emergency response business. So I spent about 4 hours with him last week, and if they give him the authority that he's supposed to be getting, I think we'll see some drastic changes in the response, sense of urgency, all the things we've been asking for. And he seems to get it, and hopefully we'll see some things change quickly.
You're that optimistic?
Well, I've got to be. You know, I've said it from day one. The only way we're going to win and win this thing is we all got to be sitting at the table working as a team. That hasn't happened yet. We're a lot closer than we were ever before. We've got a lot of requests in for skimmers for the boom. We've told we'll get an answer this week, and if those things get approved, we're a lot closer to working as a team effort that I said all along. We can't be fighting the Coast Guard BP and fighting this all too. We've got to be sitting at the table working as a team, and I'm looking forward to that happening sooner rather than later because we've got, as I said, a short window of opportunity to win this thing, and if we don't take advantage of it and if we don't get on top of it, it's going to continue to pick us apart.
James Lee Witt is BP's new guy?
He's being brought in as a consultant to oversee it for BP, absolutely. You know, the one thing is the sense of urgency that we haven't seen before. And he realizes the decision-making's got to be on the ground level. We got to have people out on the water where the oil's hitting us first. And those things are so important to winning this battle.
All right, you talked about the oil being there for a year, maybe two, I think is what you just said. What about an update on some of the machines that have been brought in? Kevin Costner's machines and also this A-Whale. What's the latest on those?
Well, the Whale, they were concerned, and I saw it working out by the rig site, and there was no oil behind it where it was skimming. They were concerned that the oil wasn't thick enough because of the disbursements to make it real effective. It would be picking up more oil than would make it feasible. But to me, any oil is worthwhile. Kevin Costas is out there working. We're expecting a report back on it today. The good thing about that machine, 99% of the water goes back overboard. It's got unbelievable capacity to store the oil, and it's on a big Swiss boat, and it can skim in 5 to 8 foot seas, I believe 10 foot even, and so it can stay out there working 24/7 and not come in. And if we deploy several of those vessels and pick up the majority of this offshore before it has a chance to come ashore, that's our best bet. And so hopefully that they're also deploying a couple other vessels I haven't gotten the specs on yet, but hopefully they'll continue to do that. We've got to see them ramp up that fleet offshore to try to keep that oil from coming ashore. Right now, it's picking us apart at will, and we're waking up in the morning, bam, it's in there in the marsh, and it's almost impossible to get it out that marsh.
So the whale is working or not, or you don't know yet?
Well, they're still under its test, and I don't know what it has to do to pass the test, but the concerns are that it may not pick up enough oil to justify. I don't know what that means. I haven't seen what they're expecting or what it's doing. So I'm sure in the next day or two we'll hear back whether it's passed the test or not. But like I said, any vessel out there that picks up any oil to me is better than not. So I would encourage and will insist that they keep it out there. I don't know if that's good enough or not, but we'll see what happens.
So when you say justify, that's justify the expense to BP?
I guess justify the expense versus what it's actually doing. And I guess what they're going to do is see how much oil it actually picks up and compare that. And I don't know what that price is because, as I understand it, the gentleman brought it down here at his own expense to test it to show that it works. So it appeared to be working. The trail behind the vessel had absolutely no oil in it, so everything it was going through was being picked up. So that was a good thing.
You think it's being given a fair test? A fair chance?
I don't know. I would like to speak to the people that are running the boat after the test is done and make sure that they are getting a fair opportunity. Because if not, we'll be on their side fighting to make sure it stays on the job.
Yeah, and let me ask you quickly about the moratorium. The effects it's going to have on Plaquemines Parish.
It'll be devastating. We had these people in on this hearing yesterday. I spent all day Sunday with them and expressed, what do they hope to gain by shutting it down? We're going to spend a bunch of money on lunches and dinners that the federal taxpayers are going to pay for while they go around and appear to be looking for safety reasons. We could sit in a room today and in 24 hours, let's throw everything on the table. The local people here, the Plaquemines Business Association, with a lot of oil people, proposed the 66-man plan. 33 people out there. They crew change, 33 more go out. And you've got like air marshal, you've got a rig marshal that works for the federal government that can shut that rig down for safety or environmental reasons. That makes them 99% safer tomorrow. Along with the other proposal was these shut-off valves in the North Sea that actually have 4 safety valves, as where the ones in the Gulf have 3, would have made it that much more safer. They're about $500,000 a piece. I'm sure both of those things would be accepted by the oil companies. And if there's anything else anybody wants to propose, let's put it on the table now. 6 months is not going to make it any safer. We need to treat that with the same urgency we need to treat cleaning up this oil and not shut these rigs down. So hopefully they'll draw that conclusion and they'll get enough people that have the same idea of 6 months is not going to help it be any safer.
And has anything gotten any better as far as the chain of command and getting things approved and the red tape that you've been fighting?
Well, I tell you, there's a new office down in Venice, and they've got everybody in the room. They've got one of our guys down there, and they are getting on the oil a lot quicker than in the past. It's still not where it needs to be. We still got areas that are getting inundated with oil, and we're not getting out there the same day, but it has gotten a whole lot better. We still need additional equipment. We tested the skimmer by Latron, who actually made shrimp picking equipment and belts all over the world. It's a local company. They've designed a skimmer that can hook next to a fishing vessel. What we're asking, as soon as that thing proves it works, and they're out there testing it, We want them to put 300 of those on our local fishing vessels who will be out there working around the clock. They will not take a 10-minute break for 20 minutes they work. They will not come back ashore until dark. They will stay out there and work and pick up the oil. And I'm fully confident if we get those skimmers approved, once they're proven, that we'll have a fleet of people out there that have the heart and passion to clean this all up, and we won't rely on people from out of town who, to a lot of them, it's just a job.